Hey friends, we're going to get started. Please turn off the screen.
Hello, everybody. We are your opening act. We are the UNC Wordsmiths, which is the collegiate branch of the Sacrificial Poets, which is a more community-wide slam poet organization. My name is Lydia Weinberger, and I will be the first wordsmith to perform for y'all tonight. Just a quick preface to this piece. First of all, slam poetry etiquette, the audience participates. If you hear something that you like, I want to hear like oohs, or like claps, or like yes, or like snaps, like very like stereotypical. If you hear something that you don't like, don't respond. Please no booing or heckling. I will not respond. On a more serious note, this first piece is about complications that I have with my religious and ethnic identity. In some ways, it does tie into this idea of feeling most Jewish when something bad or anti-Semitic happens, and especially in light of the San Diego shooting that happened on Saturday, I think that's an important conversation to have. And it's been part of my college journey to try and feel Jewish in parts that are beautiful too, rather than when I was growing up only really allowing myself to feel Jewish when something anti-Semitic happened to me. So this first piece is entitled, "In which all major Jewish denominations defer to matrilineal descent." If my father had been my mother, I would have been Jewish. But my father was not my mother, so I am not Jewish, except when I'm 17. And I'm ecstatic at having just finished my first high school musical as a wife and go-go dancer and Joseph in the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. And I'm in the car on the way to the after party when a boy spits the word kike at me and tells me that me and my people should hang from trees. The three other boys in the car stay silent. And I, with the cookies I had baked for these same people sitting warm in my lap, I stay silent too. When my dad picks me up early from this same party, it is the first time I hear him utter ill about another person. I see his brow dig down in anger, his typical humor lie dead in his throat. I am not Jewish, except when I'm 18 and I crouch down to pick up a dropped dollar bill and a friend calls me a dirty Jew. At first, my body does not recognize the slur until a girl sitting with us flinches back as though it was her being burned. I do not process the betrayal fully until the friendship ends a year later, and I wonder at why it was his first instinct to call me that, and why mine was to forgive him. I do not tell my dad about this. Why is it that I only feel Jewish when somebody hates me? Why am I only allowed to feel Jewish when somebody's worldview does not allow me to be anything else? I wear a kippah for the first time, and I like it in a way I had long not felt allowed to. I am memorizing the prayers of Shabbat, my hands refamiliarizing with the texture of challah, with the beating of a fist against my chest, with the shading of my eyes. And isn't it all just refamiliarizing? Aren't I descendant of a line that has done this 1,000,000 times over? I am not Jewish, except I am, and the rabbi speaks to me of conversion, of a mikveh to cleanse me and make me kosher again. But what part of me needs cleansing? What part needs converting? My father was not my mother, but he is my father, and I am no one if not his daughter. No. My fellow wordsmith, Janae Gamera.
This poem is titled "The Tragedy of Unbeing," after Olivia Gatwood, for my sister. An alternate universe in which you become a body full of dark, dense, dead stars before anyone finds you. I do not go to any finals. I do not do anything productive or important for maybe 6 weeks. You take a part of me with you. My hands, my mouth, my heart. I miss you so badly. An alternate universe in which I am the body full of dark, dense, dead stars that no one finds, maybe ever. You are surprised. You do not expect this. In this, as in blood, we are perhaps the same. Mirror images, twin beings. We have never been closer than in this moment. An alternate universe where there are no stars except the ones we name in the sky, and that is this universe, here, where we both have yet to supernova and it is no longer something we long for. In this universe, I say, come home. The light calls you here. Every bright, bursting thing calls you here. We love you. We miss you. We are so proud of you and all that you have overcome. We are so happy that you are alive. Thank you. Please welcome to the stage, Quentin Okoro.
This poem is titled, Where Do All the Worms Go When It Stops Raining? A Roadmap to Happiness. 1. Some worms retreat to a coat closet on the other side of the world. In this memory, I am the worm, and I am sitting in a bed of rainwater, watching it rise and soak everything, my first eulogy, my liquid prayers. I am the rainwater, and I am spilling out of myself and into the body of a little girl. I am the little girl hiding in this coat closet from a starving bird until this hiding place becomes a crime scene, until that bird finds me, carves desire into a sickle and reaps, until I am no longer a little girl but an old child raised by trauma, until I am the bird. And I am so hungry that I turn inwards and devour myself, thinking safety meant becoming both prey and predator. 2. I asked someone once where the worms went after the rain. She said they went home. I don't know where that is, so I follow their slow, dogged path through the dirt and find myself in Brooklyn, in the house of a child I once was. I ask her if this is home. She doesn't answer me, but I watch as her arms and legs disappear under the heavy birdsong of a relative's voice. She is limbless and slithering at my feet. Ringed with years caked in mud, the relative sings and sings. In all of my memories, they are singing. 3. Worms do go home after the rain, but when it rains here, it floods, and everyone drowns. There is no one left to label victim, no survivors to praise for their bravery, no abusers to defend. The water treats everyone the same, fills everyone's lungs the same, wraps its silky death around bodies with no patience to discriminate for. Here, it rains enough to reach the 6th floor of a college dorm, tickle the toes of a young woman who never learned how to swim. 5, some worms go to Georgia, or Virginia, or Texas, find that it can storm just as much there as it does here. 6, some find themselves in Ohio, where the people are covered in feathers and speak in thunder. Like refugees, they steal onto this foreign soil and realize that they are still prey. 7, the water is every bad thing that has ever happened to me. And it is relentless. It hasn't stopped for 20 years. And some days I start to believe I've only ever seen the sun in dreams. 8. So where do all the worms go when it stops raining? I don't know yet. I don't know when the downpour will let up. I've been following the tracks these worms leave in the soil for 2 decades, calling it a roadmap, watching them get washed away and discovering that I am the one beached in a new land, looking for a home in puddles and discarded leaves. 9, maybe home is wherever you end up when the sky clears. 9, maybe this journey isn't a U-turn through muddy streets and backwards memories. 9, maybe I am the worm drowning, getting tread on by passers-by who mean well but cannot see me under all of this